and I own the original. They had it at Sickos Guitars, and I bought it from them, but then it had some problems, and I thought instead of doing invasive repairs, I would go to a luthier and ask them to build me a copy. So
It's always a nice decision, no?
yeah, that's what I
That's
got.
great that you have also the... And you did everything, like let him do exact copy yourself for the neck and...
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
I have one
so
complaint.
You have the small neck.
Yeah, one complaint. I asked him not to do this, and he did it anyway. Is the original had the dots like right on the fret wire.
On the third one also? Oh my god.
Well, actually, I think originally it only had these. He added that one and put it right on the fret wire. So it's a bit strange.
But I think this is actually an easy remover, no?
It could be.
Could be, yeah.
And then I actually also brought, I have a Reese copy too.
Nice. So you are armed.
And this is the first movement of a small sonata by Ferdinando Cali.
this mean? Does he write you anywhere what?
It says here it's written in French, and that means to use
so you should play with the right left hand thumb. Yeah.
It's not comfortable.
Yes. So we have this like a star sign, to play with the left hand thumb, because we know that Carrie was playing even of the on the fifth string, you know,
Yeah.
or with a left hand thumb.
I think he may have had the guitar down like this. To
Also, yeah, it you know, it always like comes with the position of the guitar. So when you see like even the baroque guitar, you know, playing with the strap, so we have different holding also. So exactly, no. And this comes like when you put the little finger on the desk, then you would most probably hold the guitar like this. And when the guitar starts to come, you know, in the position we are used to, also the other contact points changes, no? So you see still sore in a method, you know, having the table, but using this, you know, like really you see pictures of him showing the how to play with the left hand thumb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think in this case it's completely not necessary because you can.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. But it also explains. Now you see the necks were super thin, about 1 centimeter, you know, thinner than when we are using nowadays. So, but you handle it really very well, the guitar. I think we can look for one thing, and that's like if there is a possibility of finding really a pianissimo and a forte on your guitar. You know, it's always a task force on a romantic guitar. I mean, you have anyway a copy, no? So you can probably look what would be your forte if you, for example, go like towards the bridge and do the ponticello, and you know, and grab as much as possible. Like you will be squeezing a lemon, and then really like having this kind of like a release when you have a forte. Yes. Yeah. Exactly. And then finding the opposite way when he asks you for pianissimo, having. Choose if you do it in another color or you stay in the ponticello. Yes. Exactly. So I would look for this kind of contrast more if it's possible. And then also another thing when you finish here and you find it twice on the place. So when you have, I would close now because we have coming back to the tonica. I would not put a heavy accent. Yeah, so I would close the phrase because we are on dominant here, so we stay open. Can we try this one?
Sure. So let's see.
Thank you. Yeah, and also you would have the same thing, you know, when the exposition comes back.
And maybe it needs to, as you mentioned before, be a little bit more forte with this support.
Yes, yeah. So there will be another topic now, looking more for the harmony. So when you have a dominant, so you go towards the dominant. And many times he writes you what he wants, no? Because he's still putting, you know, a method, you know, how to perform on guitar, how to play on guitar. So you have also this rinforzando or sforzando. So I would look more through and look for the dynamics also. You can do it also now if you want to search for more dynamic contrasts. Because basically, you know it, no? Having on the guitar, the color is that one. No? So it's not so much like on a classical guitar. We can do colors, but it would be most likely like, you know, changing really like even, you know, going on nails or not. That's what we can do now. You know, we have nails. Most of them were not using nails, so and might have a completely different attack color than we have nowadays. Also, do you have any particular questions or problems in this piece?
Well, the first thing you said was actually something that I was going to ask about, and that was finding the forte and the piano.
Yeah.
And I recognize that, especially while I'm kind of on the spot, then it gets kind of compressed a little bit, and it doesn't come out.
Yeah, and the thing, you know, about forte and piano, it's always also, you know, taking time for forte and preparing it well. So it's not only that I am able to play forte, but, you know, looking in the music, so what is coming before the forte. So it's always like, okay, there will be some preparation, some crescendo. So like imagine that you would be playing. Most likely we would, try to prepare the forte a little bit before. But in this place it could work also in different way. Or, for example, when we have the sforzato, so we would take a little bit more time, to show, look, there is something new in the music. Also like preparing the string and grabbing it a little bit more. And also, speaking about the masso tension, when we need forte, we need much more time, to prepare the forte. So you would have. So it always comes also with the music putting a little bit more attention and a little bit more weight.
Okay.
Do you want to try a particular place, like where we do have a lot of signs also here with some accents? Also, I wanted to ask you one question when you. I'm like not really convinced, playing it in a higher position because you know the tuning issues of the. I think you would, in a way, stay more in the first position.
Okay, and that actually touches on something that I wanted to ask about too. It's more here, where I can play with open strings, or I could try to do,
that's the difficulty of these guitars, as they are small, is if you can play as simple as possible, then keep it as simple as possible. Because as soon, when we get to this kind of model, you have the wrist model, so it's a completely different idea of a guitar. So I can search for colors like this because we have completely different sustain and we have completely different vibrato also and reaction of the guitar. On these guitars, especially the French style guitars, they are a completely different idea, so as simple as possible. So I would keep open strings, even on this guitar.
And that's great, because that's another thing that I wanted to ask was the difference between this and that one, and how that sort of influences the approach to playing.
Yes, look, so if you think, it's also a nice question, and also for the other people. So when there is always an action and reaction, no? So Karoli writes a piece and he has this kind of guitar. Then maybe somebody from the public might come, but I would like to hear an aria of an opera on a solo guitar. And then, okay, we already require an instrument which is different, no? So it's always an action and reaction. We don't know what comes first, but basically, the need to, or wanting, listening some kind other repertoire makes the builders or collaboration, the composer and the guitar builder, to build another instrument for a repertoire and for the era. So that's why also, in France, in London, in Spain, and in Vienna, you have completely, and in Italy, you have completely different romantic guitars. Because they are having different repertoire, so they are building repertoire guitar or building guitar for a new repertoire. Yeah. So, and this is the beautiful thing also, because these are much more clearer, on things. So your voicing would be much more cleaner and clearer than on the Viennese model guitar, because the Viennese guitars have big sounds. So. On these guitars, we have, we are still really like at the beginning of the Romantic era, so we are learning, the guitar just turned being 6 strings, single strings, and this is one of the first models. So also you see on how far are the strings from the soundboard that they were still using the little, the pinky on the,
I'm touching the.
Yes, exactly, no? So, and that's the first thing which shows you, okay, they were holding it in a different way, and they were still using the little finger on the board, and that also changes all the fingerings of the right hand. It's super. I'm always super excited, because you see how what is written in the music comes with the instrument. Yeah. And so I would keep that as simple as possible, because also the music has the beauty in the simplicity. You know? So it's very, you have like, you know, tonica dominant showing the first arpeggi on the guitar, showing, you know, the first barré, and looking really like how to play this kind of instrument. Yeah. So sometimes we are nowadays, because we already have all the development of guitar, we have all the modern possibilities, so we try to put too much catch-up on things which are like super simple. Yeah. Not your case, you played it really, really well, but it shows us, you know, the history of the guitar so well.
Okay, so yeah, we were talking about this kind of sequence here, and yeah, I do something where I stay kind of in the middle 3 strings and come up to the 5th position. So.
You can try also on your original how that sounds, if it is in tune or not.
What's that? Oh, the
on the Rudolph. Do you have it here also?
What's that? Oh,
I
don't have the original.
No. So you can try it home. No, how does it sound on the original one? You know, if it has tuning issues or not. So, you know, and then he writes you still free one, but I think that you could use open string and yeah. So this might be also an option. I mean, yours is also working, of course.
So we still.
Yes, exactly.
And here I actually do this. I do a backwards fingering so that I can just...
And then I think this is also something, what he is writing. Exactly, yes. And then we have...
And then maybe like...
Exactly.
Okay, then I have to
And
find
you could stay... possible, but also not necessary.
So sometimes you just pick up a finger.
Exactly. Yeah. So you could see, because he's writing something, but not everything. Yeah. So he always gives you only. You could, even if you don't like the open string, you could also use, but then you have the open string anyway. But I think maybe just keep it simple.
I learned this so many years ago, and that was the fingering that somebody suggested to me first, and I just never thought to.
Yeah, I am, you know, looking on the history of the guitar, always thinking the instruments are so small, and like, of course, if you have 200 years old instrument, most likely the wood moved and the frets moved. So further you go here on these guitars, to more tuning problems you have. And that's also a reason why we do have a lot of like C major, G major, D major. They don't go over 3 sharps or 1 flat, because it's just out of tune. Huh?
Yeah.
So I had a project where I have to play original Stauffer, and I picked a Regondi, which is very far. You know, we have the original Stauffer 1829, and Regondi maybe 20 years after with his pieces. And then, you know, it was a C major piece, but as soon as I got to the 5th position, it was a mess. I couldn't play that piece on that guitar. I had to change the repertoire because it was just not working, you know. So, you know, Regondi would be more or less, you know, this kind of Viennese style instrument. There is one thing, although, like, you know, thinking also of the hand position, you know, try to be also here flexible. I know, you know, with the lowest strings, you don't have that much possibility, but it gives you a different sound, you know, when you have, you know, this, and when you have this. So you can also use it if you want a piano, or if you want a dolce, you can have more flash, or you can have a more clearer sound. Yeah, just, you know, yeah, exactly, yes.
Wow. I never even thought of that.
Yeah, look, you know, it's like, it's very, somehow also logical, because when we learned to produce a nice sound, we always learn one position. But as soon as you find a nice sound, you can keep this flexible because this will give you different sounds. Also, you know, rotating, so like rotating in any kind of value this, I will always has a different kind of effect and different kind of color and sound. Yes. Yeah. So you can use this. Yeah, you can use this. It's not a historical practice. It's a modern way of approaching color and attack, and you can use it on these guitars because you will have, you know, with the modern strings, you will have the dolce sound, or even this, you know, changing a bit. So you get all even the piano. So this is what you can create of colors. I don't think they were doing this, but nowadays we can. So I would keep the fingerings as simple as possible. And here, nowadays, you can search for all the colors you want, you know, with the modern strings and with the modern copies, it's much easier. And it's also interesting, he writes as a larghetto, but it feels like it should be slightly a bit faster, no? Like, but it could be. But it could be also. No, depending, of course, on the other movements. So this is the first movement, right?
Yes.
Ah, okay, so you are starting with this. Oh, that's also nice to have the possibilities of character. So it could be character, but not necessarily the tempo.
Okay. Yeah, and the second movement is a rondo, and I think it's kind of like allegretto.
Yes. One more thing, maybe when you have this little cadenza, like yeah, like this one. Yeah, having. I think you can be much more free. Yeah, and then you come, so you can be much more singing. You take your time because this is your cadenza in the orchestra. I think this would be the place where they occasionally come here for a different color because you have just one note and you are not melodical. For example. Yeah. And also don't be afraid of using, you know, different kinds of vibrato. So if you use a speedy one, the romantic guitar responds much more like the fast one, like electroshock. Yes. Yeah, the guitar responds in a different way than modern one. Yes, for example.
5 minutes.
Okay. Also interesting that he's not using slurs at all.
I was going to ask that too. You read my mind. And I thought that maybe that doesn't mean not to do any slurs, but just that he hasn't instructed you.
Exactly. Yeah. So nowadays we have the choice. So still thinking of an instructional repertoire. You know, we are learning how to play guitar, 6 single strings, how to do forte and blah blah, how to have the forms and how to use the right hand. So there was probably no time, to indicate, okay, how about the slurs and how about the expressivity of the left hand. Nowadays, you can, decide, okay, I do exactly what he writes, or I do some slurs, because I want to have a different kind of expressivity, having... So you put some spice on these things, because you have the possibility. Other questions?
I think that actually covers a lot of what I would have asked about.
Do you think we can anyway try, because there's a beautiful place, maybe like picking up here, you use your fingering now, and then like really having this forte he asks you for, and then having really this surprise of piano and pianissimo. You try that.
Okay.
Also, these kind of accents they are using, they are not necessarily like power, dynamic accents. They might be a tension and a time accent. So you can have even more time here if you like. It sounds really, really cool, really nice.
Oh, thank you.
And let's also try this. So you might have two possibilities. You keep it in a piano, or actually he writes you forte, but maybe you have a mezzo forte here, and you do a subito forte, or you have mezzo forte, you do crescendo into a forte.
Okay, so we want to start with this.
For example. So that could be one idea. I was thinking also would be different. Here when I play, I have much more sustain. So for the echo, you could have maybe more legato here and more like you play. Like this kind of also articulation.
Okay, I like that. And do you think it matters which one comes first? So
you can decide yourself also, like having two possibilities or 3 or 4, and then dose it on the stage.
Okay.
All these things you can use. So you can also put slurs, different dynamics, different sounds, different kind of attention when you have. So also I don't remember now if you use also arpeggio, because we have no indications also on this.
Yeah,
so
and I try to do that very sparingly if it's not. Because some people get the habit of doing it too much.
Yes, exactly.
It's kind of called out. So.
Yeah, it's nice that you say that, because many people are just arpeggiating everything, so changing rhythm of everything, but so you are conscious about how, if I want to put attention, I put arpeggio, or also not, but then I take a little bit more time.
Okay, and there you put in like a dotted rhythm, even though it's written straight.
Oh no, I was just sorry, I'm just citing, so it's sorry, I don't know why it happened.
Maybe that's something you could choose to do, right?
Could be also, could be also. I know these things, they happen just, reading wrong, or sight reading wrong. Yeah, or also, coming from the idea of opening pum with the dotted notes. Very nice, very nice. You want to play just a little bit, also the Reese one, just to hear it, the difference? I think we still have 1 minute now. So I assume you have also different kind of repertoires for different kind of guitars.
I put play a little bit of everything on everything.
Everything,
Which
yeah.
guitar do I feel like playing? But I did feel like that one is the one for Karuli.
Absolutely.
A little bit out of tune.
Different, yes, different tune, doesn't matter. Yeah, feels right, actually, yeah. And then you see you have much more, you have a different sustain, or you have a different cantability than on the French kind of instrument.
Yeah, it's like having just a completely different voice, or almost being a different person when you play.
Absolutely,
with a different
yeah,
guitar.
absolutely. And when you think of the repertoire also on the piano, having Schubert, Brahms, Schumann, then we have a big development also of the instruments. So if you look on how the instrument is done, so you have a different, although the mechanics on some of the French guitars it's like our modern mechanics, so
Right.
they don't
Yeah,
have the
have the
pads and
tuners.
they have the tuners there. So it's different. But putting the strings also, all those on yours is the same like on the Viennese style. So for me it's always like seeing one guitar like 1830 in France, Italy, London, Spain, Vienna, like seeing this how bright the instruments can be and the kind of repertoire it responds to the guitar.
Yeah.
Where do you have them? Who made this one?
This one is Bernhard Kresse.
Ah, this is Kresse guitar, okay.
So very similar to yours, but
Yes.
maybe not quite the same.
Yes.
Actually, I was wondering, could I ask you to play a little bit on the French style one? I just want to hear what it sounds like if you play it.
Oh, if I? Oh.
Just a little.
Of course.
You're getting carried away.
Okay. That's nice, I'm sorry, I'm having fun.
That's okay, you can have fun.
Yeah.